Hello and welcome to IABM TV. I'm delighted to be joined by Simon Browne, VP Product Management at Clearcom. And we're going to dive straight in, and I'm going to ask Simon that should IBC have gone ahead, what were you most excited about to showcase in terms of new products from Clearcom?
Hello there, yes. We would have been excited to show our Arcadia Central Station. Arcadia is a one-rack unit box that integrates all of our intercom technologies so that for the first time we can have wireless users and party line users, both on analog and digital, and people on audio over IP like Dante and analog audio, plus our legacy party line two-wire systems like Encore, all communicating with each other on the same channels and managed by one system. This is a huge advantage to those people who are managing multiple systems and have for many years had separate wireless solutions to wired solutions and had to cobble them together on different management systems and cable them carefully so that people communicated. Now it's all under one control. You can see what's going on. It's a nice little web browser, CCM, that you've probably seen on some of the other Clearcom products, and it all integrates very nicely. Looks good.
So, Simon, what applications is Arcadia Central Station ideally suited for?
Well, ideally, it's for people from small to medium scale productions who really need to have a number of team members on a wireless operation and a number of fixed positions communicating with them. And so that they can take advantage of the wireless integration for both FreeSpeak 2 and Edge and continue with the Helix Net and analog party line stations to communicate at fixed positions. And the flexibility of the system would mean that they can move very clearly between rehearsal situations and live production situations in a sort of fluid control. Also, the fact that it has Dante connectivity means that it can connect nicely with modern day audio boards and routing systems. And so that has that full integrated high quality audio that people expect these things. So it's great for those kind of productions. It's very, very sort of versatile.
Okay, and you kind of touched on this, but maybe you could expand on it. In what ways is it useful to be able to integrate wired and wireless communications?
Well, quite often a number of productions and places have a lot of people who float between sort of fixed positions and want to be mobile at the same time. So be able to share channels between those devices means that people can be on multiple devices or put down one, pick up another, and stay in continuous communication. So it provides for that kind of sophistication between the people who do that kind of thing, particularly, for example, houses of worship, where somebody can be on the audio board and the next minute they could be running to fix a lamp in the service area. You know, so it's all connections, and the way that the system is managed allows people to share these kind of channels across multiple devices so that nobody's left high and dry without communication.
And Arcadia has recently won several awards at the last couple of trade shows. Can you share with us what those were? Yes,
so broadly, at the Infocom, we had the best of market installation. We won it for the installation for Arcadia. And then at NAB, we won it for remote production as part of the TV technology sections. And we also won awards for a lot of other devices as well in the same period. Associated devices like the FreeSpeak base station, which is on the same similar platform. And then for our clients, also at the NAB, we won that for production, remote production. So yes, we picked up a number of awards for our product that just hit the markets this year.
That's good to hear. And I think we also heard Clearcom announced a new FreeSpeak Edge base station. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yes, so we brought out Edge, which is our 5 gigahertz duplex wireless, a couple of years ago. But that, when it first came out, it was integrated into our matrix systems because we saw it as quite a sophisticated solution, and therefore it was more suitable to the matrix users. But there was a demand for a smaller scale operation on the base. So we brought out the Edge base that not only manages Edge 5 gigahertz, but also allows integration with FreeSpeak 2 as well over IP. And we hadn't had an IP wireless solution on a base station as well. So it answered both of those requests. in one box. And it gives the sort of standalone quality that we need for people looking at audio quality and low noise operations in a standalone package. Particularly those people who are using it for long periods of time, like the people who are doing rehearsals in the morning and then the show in the evening, because the audio quality with very low noise does allow for very low fatigue operation, whereas people have used other radio systems and have found it very fatiguing after about 8 hours. So the Edge, with its clarity, really helps in that situation.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. Well made. I mean, and again, you may have touched on this, but maybe you can elaborate there. What are the ideal applications for the base station?
Yes, so I touched again on that. It's a best-in-class audio experience. So there are people who are looking for that kind of 12 kilohertz, very crisp audio, long duration operation, again, to ease attention. But also, for example, there's the fact that being 5 gigahertz, we're now seeing crowding in the depth 1.9 band. We're already seeing busy 2.4 gigahertz band being used up for Wi-Fi and other control devices. So here's another band under 5 gigahertz that allows people to have intercom in a sort of largely free area, because the 5 gigahertz band is very wide and accommodate our intercom and Wi-Fi. Choose the channels you need. It's one of those systems where it doesn't automatically stand on other things. You can select and bracket bands within 5 gigahertz so that you can have your Wi-Fi in one part of the domain and your intercom in another. So it allows for those situations, and even as a base station and a small number of users, it allows for that kind of availability in wireless that perhaps today we don't get so much with the DEC systems, especially when you've got a number of broadcasters on the same event.
Yeah, sure. I can understand that. Your Agent IC mobile app has been globally recognized since its release, and even more so since the pandemic. How has the app and the new desktop version, Station IC, been assisting remote workflows?
Well, we're very fortunate that we have these tools for the people demanding it for this very strange time of pandemic, when people are working from their homes and still want to be connected to the production intercom with all the functionality they would expect from a hardware panel. So both Agent IC on devices like iOS phones, Android phones, and tablets, and Station IC for PCs and Macs provide that functionality that gives these people availability on the production intercom in just the same way they'd expect a remote panel to do. So they have, for instance, talk and listen keys, they have individual level controls, they can see the labels, and everything's controlled and under the central management for those people operating on the Eclipse or on the LQ system, depending which one you're using as a host. And so it's provided a great facility and functionality in this time where people want to work remotely.
And Simon, so I mean, did you spin these new products up like Agent IC very quickly because of the pandemic, or were they in your kind of R&D box anyway?
We had the Agent IC already in our box, but we spun up Station IC for the PCs, for those people working on PCs and laptops at home more quickly because of this. So we certainly made a change there. We checked those alive quite a bit.
Yeah, and I guess, you know, ultimately, because there's a trend to remote production that was probably accelerated by the pandemic, but the trend was there anyway because people wanted to have greater cost efficiency and production efficiency. And I guess that puts Clearcom in pole position, because that can only work if you have proper communication between the centralized production unit and the camera operators, etc., in the field.
Yes. In fact, it's transparent to the other people on the system that somebody is on a Station IC or an Agent IC device, because essentially you're hearing their intercom as if they were in the production studio. There may be some delays over the internet, for example, but generally speaking, they have all the same information. And so whether you're talking to cameras, talking to production teams, talking to a remote system through the matrix to somewhere else, it's all the same. It's just an application within the matrix system.
And I guess as you say, the ease of functionality, the flexibility, and the superior audio quality, are they the three highlights that you would agree with that make Clearcom kind of stand out in this field?
I would say so. It's certainly the ease of setup. You can just drop it from the sort of these app stores onto your system. the license for Agent IC will be held at the central equipment. So you've given your username and password and you're good to go. So yeah, it's easy to set up, good audio quality, 7 kilohertz at least. So it's better, much better than using, for instance, a phone system or whatever. And the users have got all the information they need.
Great stuff. Well, Simon, I've really enjoyed our chat and finding out a bit more about Arcadia Central Station. It's been very interesting. Thank you so much for your time.
You're welcome. Thank you.